Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Treen, and every week I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things intuition. Through personal stories, experiences, and practices, offering energetic reflections to help you discover, connect, and fully realize how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to March 2024. How are you feeling? How has the year been for you? Yeah, take a moment to check in with yourself. What is the present like right now? Personally, are you moving through a lot of change? Do you feel like new energy, fresh start? Are you feeling a little bit still in the last month? Does it not feel new yet? And I share all of those kind of check-in questions because it's the most important part before diving into looking ahead is figuring out how you feel now in the present. So I really wanted to offer that reminder to check in with yourself, check in with the present, and make sure that you're here before you start kind of moving into what March may bring. And before we dive in, I really wanted to share a little bit about this lovely new group that I cannot wait to begin. It starts in April and it's something I've been working on for 2 years now, and it's called Wild Trust. And it's a 7-month journey, a group journey of healing and development. Because over the last 2 years, through my one-on-one work of, a very unique blend of energy healing modalities, intuitive guidance, mentorship, meditation, soul reflection, and energy readings, I really found that everything that I offer supports so many facets of your life, but the main result is helping guide you back to remembering that deep trust within. And it's why I'm so passionate about this form of intuitive energy healing. The way that I like to offer intuitive development and why it can be so life-changing. Because when we truly trust ourselves, our lives change. So 2 years ago, I started building a group healing and development circle, a transformative journey over 7 months that was calling from my heart to create. Because I knew that the space that I was holding through those one-on-one sessions and journeys, supporting those transformations that I'm so grateful to be able to do, but everything that I was supporting and holding space for, it was really helping me build this beautiful journey because group energy is powerful. And there's so much in the way of our natural inherent trust. And trust is it. I found that the opposite of anxiety isn't calm. It's trust. Trust brings calm. I found that the opposite of fear is not courage, but it's trust. Trust can bring courage into action. How the opposite of confusion isn't clarity. It's trust. Trust brings clarity. Self-trust is the foundation of the permission that we think that we need. But it's not permission that we need. We need to trust ourselves. So that's why I created Wild Trust. If you are an empathic, intuitive, extra sensitive soul who feels everything so deeply and sometimes you wish you didn't, this is for you. If you want to learn how to move with your fear and build confidence through action, if you always feel like you're running out of time, but you find it challenging to make any time for yourself, this is for you. If you want to know how to connect to your true needs so you can feel clear and calm in your body, and if your current job or career leaves you feeling frustrated and tired and uninspired, that's what this group is for. If you would love to reclaim and develop your natural intuitive abilities and gifts and learn and trust how to express them. If you want to remember and accept all the parts of yourself that you have forgotten and maybe hidden throughout your life, that's what this is for. If you know what you want to do, but you have no idea how, that's what this space is for. Place to really embrace your innate wisdom, learn the language of your intuition, and really walk and be supported through a dynamic path of self-discovery. And I carefully designed this 7 months to really nurture and support you through the lens of grounded, intuitive energy healing and intuitive development. It is a weekly group haven for energy healing, guided meditation journeys, active intuitive exercises, reflections, so much more. And it really is such a heart-focused, respectful space, free from judgment, for you to pay full attention to your energy, but also be supported to help foster like such a deep understanding of how all your levels of energy are actually gateways to your inner wisdom, so that you can really learn how to remember what that unshakable self-trust feels like. Truly life-changing, but also so supportive. So if it sounds like a space that you have been searching for, go to the show notes and you can book a 30-minute chat with me to learn more about the full structure of Wild Trust and how it can support you. Because we begin in April and it really is the place where you can remember that your life is not something to take control of, but a tapestry of love and purpose for you to follow. Maybe this is the year for you to really step into your path of purpose. So yes, I really look forward to chatting with you. Check out the show notes for more on my website, but the best thing to do would, just book a consultation. It is never a sales call. It's really to chat about what you would be supported with, what kind of commitment it is, and if it fits your needs and if you would be a good fit for it. So yeah, if it feels a little bit, well, I don't know, then book a call with me because we can find out together whether it is or not. Okay, so let's dive into March energy impressions. If you have not listened to the energy impressions before, these are really meant to highlight and kind of pique the interest of your own intuition, to help to guide you to what your intuition is calling for you to do this month for your highest good. What is best for you for the month of March? So by me going into a beautiful meditation to receive any insight that may help you navigate the month ahead. They will help to guide you to your beautiful inner wisdom. And I am excited about March. I will say that. When I went into the meditation, I wasn't sure because the first part of the year has been tricky. It asked a lot of us. That's what I'll say. For me personally, and everyone that I was connecting with as well, it has not been easy. And I'm not going to say that March will be easy, but there may be a beautiful shift in your perspective and in the way that your life has been moving. So a little bit of a shift in momentum and direction. So yes, I go into meditation, I receive through my imagination, my intuition speaks through and guides me into what you may need to know, what we all may need to know. Take what you need, leave the rest, really listen to check in with what resonates with your intuition. And that's why they're energy impressions and not energy predictions, because they're meant to guide you to your intuition. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I really felt about the overall energy of March was an energy like a whirlpool, some situation that maybe for the year, maybe more, that we may have been resisting, not wanting to do, kind of an inner call, an inner idea, something that's been kind of in our sphere. If you listen to last month, which I'm just remembering now, it was all about what was in the periphery. What is in the periphery? What do you need to pay attention to and bring to life? Well, in March, whatever was in that periphery is now creating quite a bit of energy where you are not going to be able to ignore it anymore. Where if you have not decided yes or no and have really put it on the back burner, it's going to be like a magnet for you. And the more you resist it, the more you'll be kind of sucked toward it. And that is not going to be fun because it's going to feel kind of discombobulating and disorienting and ungrounded. So as you move into March, can you take a moment, really ground, like I said at the beginning, get into the present and connect to what that is? And it may be more than one thing. What is asking for you to begin or team up with, collaborate with, open, close? Like there is something that needs your attention and you cannot ignore it anymore. But that's that fresh shift of energy. Because if you want to shift your energy, do something new that is not comfortable or familiar, but that you know is calling from your heart, from your inner guidance, from your gut. That thing that, what if you didn't put it off? What if you actually did it? That's what March has an opportunity to support. But it does feel like if we don't create the intention to create it, to realize it, to pay attention, to bring it in, then we're going to be kind of brought to it without so much of a grounded action. And that's when we can get very kind of whipped around. So if you haven't started or opened or created or closed that thing in your periphery from last month. This is the month you gotta do it. And it's not for all of us. This is something that will resonate with some, but if it's not resonating, just allow it to kind of live. And it may offer some clarity more mid-month. Because the main thing about that kind of whirlpool energy, where if we aren't doing it from a grounded place, that it might feel unstable, is that it may actually show us by us taking that inspired action fully on the thing that has been calling for us to do. We could be surprised at how stable of a foundation, how stable the ground actually is. How strong the ground is beneath our feet that we didn't even notice. Because life has been lifing. So can you pay attention to those moments when you realize, oh, okay, the ground is stable. I do feel grounded and rooted. Even when the world around me is not. And that is also a call this month to congratulate yourself on how far you have come. Some of us have come so far in a short amount of time, and we are not giving ourselves enough credit, and not in a self-indulgent way, but in a way of really paying attention to the reality of what we have done, what we've accomplished and overcome and moved through and survived. Can you give yourself some more respect? And maybe even some awe in what you have done. Because one of the big pieces of this month is also discernment, where this month you may find something that you really valued, that you thought was it, the thing, the gold, is not gold, not as valuable, not what you wanted or needed. But by figuring out that it's not, you're actually opening up the view to see what is that you were maybe not seeing, what you already have that is so valuable that you just were not giving enough credit to. So using your discernment in March is going to be such a superpower, so that you don't have to take the long way around. That's really the feeling that I received from it. Let's not make the path we're walking in March more complicated than it needs to be. And then that brings me to the next thing: support. Have you opened yourself up to receive support? And I know I've talked about this quite a few times over the last few episodes, because this might be the month where it is okay to ask for help, but not only okay, kind of imperative. What can you not do on your own anymore? Who can you reach out to? Or do you need to learn something new? Some continuing education? Do you need a mentor? Or even just maybe like some kind of accountability friend to make sure that you are on track with what you really want to do this year? There was a real sense of not doing it all by yourself. To make sure that you're not saying no to support that maybe you actually really need. But then the other part of that is if it feels not super comfortable to receive that support, what's in the way? What do you need to pay attention to? Maybe in your heart. What is holding you back from opening up to receive? And that can feel like a really big question. But that also comes back to trust. Trusting that if you give yourself enough space, you can find the answer. Maybe you need more compassion. Maybe you need some slowness in your week. Maybe you need to be more gentle on yourself and not be pushing and judging yourself in a way that maybe you're not even noticing. Paying attention to that inner dialogue. So opening up to receive, making sure that you're not cutting off support that is ready to be given to you, but also paying attention to what might be in the way of you receiving it. It feels like March might be the time for you to really get into some beautiful healing. Some kind of depth of healing that maybe you haven't gotten to with your heart. And maybe this is just the timing of it. Because other than kind of that whirlpool energy, I was also kind of shown in my imagination through my meditation, us curled up in our own hearts, being held and comforted and soothed in our own hearts. So if you haven't felt that comfort of your own heart before, how can you get to know your heart in a deeper way? How can you trust your heart more to comfort and soothe you? And yes, that also might feel a little intense. But if it does feel intense, then that may mean that you really need to look at that, to pay attention to why it feels intense or uncomfortable to think of your heart that way. Because it feels like this month, we are going to be shown, having the opportunity to be shown many times what our hearts need, what our souls need to be nourished and nurtured. How can we feel more at home in our hearts, in our bodies? And maybe that's a piece that you've been missing in feeling grounded. Because feeling grounded is feeling embodied. And that doesn't mean 100% of the time, no. But it means knowing how to get back to that feeling of feeling at home within. Because that's where our power lies, right? Because that's how we can be discerning. That's how we'll know what is truly valuable. That's how we open up to receive support and even be able to see it. That's how we don't take the hardest route. By knowing what it feels like to be at home within. So March may really offer a big opportunity to, for lack of a better word, to have a reality check, like a true reality check. And I don't know if you just heard Bandit there, but he said it right after I said that. Well, he didn't say it. He didn't say reality check. He meowed, but he was emphasizing it. And it's interesting because that kind of overall energy through all the soft guidance, when I felt that kind of reality check of March, it didn't feel like something jarring. It feels like something that we know already what it is. What's the reality check? What have we been explaining away, resisting, ignoring, not having the time for, not believing or having any trust or faith in ourselves for being able to do it? You know what I'm talking about. If this impression is for you, you know. So a really good thing to do, just like we did at the beginning of the episode, is to continue, if you already have, or make a new one, continue with a really great, easy practice of getting grounded, getting centered, and listening to what's going on inside. Because there is also an animal that came into the meditation that I love for March, and it was a gorgeous horse. A horse that felt so deeply of the sense of freedom. This was not a horse corralled. This was a horse in all of its glory. And the horse is such a beautiful energy that represents, across cultures, the power of perspective and connection and freedom of your intuition, your inner guidance, of your unique energy and your empathic ability of being able to connect to energy around you. That unspoken communication, but also determination and community and travel and new journeys. And I don't like to be kind of led by astrology, but I love being inspired by it. And the symbol for March, it is the first sign in the zodiac. It's Aries, represented by the ram, I believe. But what is more new energy, new journey than that horse, that wild horse energy? But the thing about the horse also that I love about, physical horses is that they have 10 muscles that control their ears, where humans, we only have 3. So the horse is also a beautiful symbol to remember the importance of really listening, to listen deeply to ourselves and others, but maybe in a way that you haven't kind of used your ears before. Or using something other than your physical ears. How else can you really listen? What does your body tell you when you're listening? What does your energy tell you? What does your heart tell you? What does your intuition tell you? So I love that the horse is able to inspire us for March, to really move forward with confidence and beauty and respect and determination, to remember what freedom means to us. And if we are not feeling that freedom in our lives, what's in the way? What kind of support can we receive? What are we valuing that is not valuable? And what are we not valuing that is actually the answer? This is the month to figure that out. So that if you do get into that whirlpool energy, if the thing you have been resisting is that reality check, Well, maybe that whirlpool will be really warm and fun and bring you somewhere really amazing. Maybe you can actually trust it if you listen enough within. So making that time to listen to yourself, listen. What have you not been listening to? And the last thing I'll kind of say about the horse to leave that symbolism on a high note is that in Celtic mythology, horses were good luck, bringers of good fortune. And that really feels like it can inspire us to shift our energy in a way when we are moving into more fear and worry and what if, and not counting on something good to happen. Because there is just as much of a chance of something good to happen than something bad. So why not focus your energy on the goodness? Why not feel more lucky? I remember last year, wasn't it like a huge trend of lucky girl syndrome where, you got to be a little delusional to get what you want? Maybe lean into that a little bit more. Why not bring a little bit more luck into where you focus your energy on? Why can't you be lucky? And if you already feel lucky, how can you be even luckier? Get that parking spot every time. Yes. Things working out even when they're not. Yes. Unexpected blessing. Yes. Rejection is God's redirection or protection. One or the other. I like both. So yes, I'm excited. I'm excited about March. Maybe you can hear it in my voice. It's getting a little tired because I was excited. My voice was excited. I also spoke quite a bit this week. So thank you for your patience on this March energy impression episode being published. But I always trust the timing on it. So let's get into some intuitive questions to help you even more connect to what you need to know about navigating through the month ahead. So these are intuitive questions, soul inquiries. You can answer them as a journal question or maybe in a voice note. Maybe when you're taking a walk, kind of think about it as a question and just answer it. Just allow them to really inspire something that you may need to know. So the first question, what have you been resisting that has been calling your attention? What have you been resisting? What do you need to realize in March? And then another question you could ask, where in your heart does it feel like home? Get really detailed. Where within your heart do you feel more comfort and love? Where does it feel more soothing? Really connect. Reconnect with that part of your heart. Maybe it's your whole heart, but kind of release any expectations. Like really allow your intuition to show you. And a third question, how can you open up to receive more support? And if that's hard for you to answer, maybe another way to look at it is, what do you insist doing on your own? And that will usually kind of show you the way to what you are not opening up to receive support with. And then the last question, what have you been valuing? Maybe overvaluing, putting too much value on that has actually blinded you to what really matters in your life. What has true value in your life right now that you have not given enough credit for or to? There's that term, all that glitters is not gold, and it's that idea. What have you been holding on to that you thought was gold, but is actually just, plastic glitter? And then what have you been putting in the shadows or ignoring that is actually the true gold that is just waiting for you to remember how valuable it is? Let your intuition guide you through those questions. Use your imagination to be the translator for your intuition. What is it telling you? What is it showing you? What is it reminding you of? That's the way to answer intuitive questions. Really allow yourself to just be surprised by the answer. So I hope that all of those energy impressions for March, that a few, maybe all resonated with you and will help you navigate through the month for your highest good. Because when you do focus on your life, on your actions, on what you're doing with the intention of for your highest good, I do feel that that ripples out for the highest good of everyone. Remember, the idea of fulfilling your personal destiny fulfills the destiny of the world. So don't ever feel like you're doing it alone. And it shouldn't be the reason that you want to be intentional with what you do in the world, that you're doing it for the world. But it's a great byproduct because we are not on our own island. No man is an island, as they say. And this month really feels like remembering our connection, reconnecting. We don't really have space for disconnection anymore. So how can you reconnect to yourself and in turn to the world around you? Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Intuitive Seek. As always, I would love to hear if any of the energy that I'm feeling and moving through for March, if it resonated with you. And if you have any thoughts or questions, please do not hesitate to send me a message. And that can be through my website, treenlight.com, or through my Instagram at treenlight.healing. All the links are in the show notes, so just scroll down from where you're listening and you can find them easily. And if you're curious about working with me, go to the show notes as well. Book a clarity call, consultation for Wild Trust if that piqued your interest. But I also have my one-on-one 4-month journey called The Key and my one-on-one sessions and distance remote sessions as well. So yeah, just go to the show notes and you can see how I can support you. You'll also find the link to sign up for my newsletter. And when you sign up to my newsletter, you get access to watch my workshop, Knowing When to Trust Your Intuition. So hugely appreciate if you also subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, follow the show, tell a friend about it, feel free to leave a review. All of those things really help support other people to find the podcast. So yeah, I would really appreciate it. And thank you again so much for your support, for listening. Be kind to yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.
Auntie Mary. I just wanted to say something very, very meaningful. Cat.